We have a massive cruise ship in the room that I need to address before I get back to my regularly scheduled cruise news, tips, and commentary. This is indeed a conundrum that I'm going to be talking about for this video, as many people, many viewers and subscribers of the channel are very angry and frustrated with me because they feel as if they have been bamboozled, swindled, scammed, lied to. This is of course pertaining to myself recently going on the world's newest and largest cruise ship, Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas. A couple weeks ago I said I wasn't going to go, I ended up going. So in this video, just to give some clarity and be completely honest with you, I'm going to explain how I got on board the ship before it even was available to the public and why, and I do hope all of you understand. This video is obviously not going to be for everyone, more so my core audience, so if you're not interested in this topic, you can go ahead and skedaddle. I have some really cool videos coming up, so make sure you come back. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because, one, I have received an overwhelming amount of comments of people saying they're going to unsubscribe from the channel, that I'm scamming people, that I'm fake, and just a lot of things that I think were uncalled for and without merit. Now, here on this channel, as many of you know that have been following, let's say for the better part of the last 4 years, 5 years, or maybe even joined up a year ago, I believe in being extremely organic, honest, and transparent with you. Maybe a little too honest sometimes. I don't hold anything back. If I end up withholding information, it's because maybe I have other membership groups in which if I don't tell you guys a sailing that I am going on, it's because they get to hear the news first, or just hearing it before I go on a specific sailing for that matter, because they want to support the channel and I believe in giving them something back. I'm also happy to say that since I started my YouTube channel towards the end of 2018, I have never lied to anybody about anything. If there was an incorrect statement that I made during any of my videos, if it was a big enough deal, I will correct it in the following video. I've never scammed anybody, and I've never promoted a product to any of you, my audience, if I didn't personally believe in it myself. With all of that in mind and being said, here is a situation of how I ended up on the world's newest and largest cruise ship, Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas. So about 3 weeks ago, or 22 days ago, I put up a video explaining why I would not be going on board Icon of the Seas during its inaugural sailing or first cruise with paying passengers. I highlighted points like the fact that it would be $9,300 for a standard balcony for me to go on board. Taking that into consideration, along with many other factors like the fact that the ship holds 7,000 passengers, the ship would be at full capacity, meaning there'd be 10,000 people plus on board, a brand new ship with a brand new layout in which myself and everybody on board would be running around like a chicken with their head cut off, trying to get into all the venues, all of the attractions, and there'd be primarily vloggers on board that not only want to hang out, shake hands, but also trying to create the best content, the best cruise ship tour, the best vlogs that there are to see. It would be a dog-eat-dog competition. You also couple that with the fact that all of the execs and the influencers that Royal Caribbean personally hired would be on board, ensuring that they get the best quality of footage, ensuring that they got all the specialty dining options. You'd be competing with the fact that most of the stuff that I would want to do as a normal person would be sold out. This not only means that I would be stressed out because there is a 100% guarantee that had I gone on that sailing on January 27th, I wouldn't get all the footage that I need, which means that I would not make my $9,300 plus back, because remember, that is just for the cruise, the actual booking, port fees, and taxes, not including the restaurants I'd have to pay for to show all of you the experience, not anything I would do in the private island Perfect Day at Coco Cay. After I made that video, for some strange reason, that video went absolutely bonkers. At this point in time, it is just shy, but catching up to 250,000 views, still gaining a lot of viewership as of right now. And around that time as well, I also did a podcast with Tony from La Lita Loca, great guy, and in those videos, I jokingly mentioned that I was going to become a travel agent or play in the casino because the cruises were getting too expensive. Some of you may or may not know this, but for all of these years, with the exception of some sponsors paying for either some of the cruise or maybe getting 1 or 2 of the cruises free, I have paid for most, if not all of my cruises. Last year in 2023, I paid well into $150,000 of my own money into travel. That way I can create content and reviews for all of you fine folk. But obviously, as you could imagine, that isn't exactly good business practice, especially somebody that comes from literally nothing. Shortly after those 2 pieces of content were published, again, that of which being the podcast I did with Tony and my Icon of the Seas video on why I wasn't going, I would be shocked to find that travel agencies, and if I remember correctly, it was over 75, I think the accurate number was like 77, different travel agencies would reach out to me trying to get me to join their travel agency, saying they can give me on-the-spot training, I could be a top global agent of the world. Even when I was on Icon of the Seas, I kid you not, remember, I'm overly honest, there was a travel agency that said they would write me a check for $100 $100,000 right then and there if I agreed to join their travel agency. Now, you as a normal person, you're probably thinking, why in the heck would somebody give you, you weird little man, $100,000? Well, first of all, if you guys don't know, YouTube is extremely lucrative, and it's also a form of cheap marketing. You look at my 3 channels, you look at my 2 Instagrams, all of those each have, we're talking about 5-figure following numbers, and that's not even relative to the amount of views I get. I typically get on my channels usually in the range of about 10 to 15 million viewers. You look at that from a business perspective, you can turn that into 10 to 15 million potential clients. Moving on with the story, I do apologize that this is taking so long, but I do believe that in this scenario, the context and details are very important. Like I said, this video is not for everybody. I'll be surprised if this video gets even, let's say, being realistic, 1,000 or maybe 5,000 views. I personally don't care. I just want to get the message out there. Now, I was in Orlando about a week and a half ago doing a review on the Brightline train that connects Orlando to Miami. A travel agency reached out to me that happened to be based over in Miami. So I said, why not? I'll have a couple hours. I might as well go talk to this travel agency to see what's going on. I would then arrive in Miami to be picked up by a very nice Mercedes-Benz with a driver and taken to a penthouse over in Miami, which I thought was really cool. But in my mind, I said, okay, this is probably some shisty businessman I'm about to deal with. This guy, David Easton, is very down to earth. He is very knowledgeable, and I kid you not, on hotels and resorts and cruise bookings and destinations from all over the world because he's been in the industry long enough. And him and I talked, we saw eye to eye on our morals, our values, and I liked the way that he was thinking. He was very straightforward, a true businessman, and I appreciated it. During those conversations over a cigar, which I don't really smoke too often, but I figured why not? We get into the situation. He said that he could get me on board Icon of the Seas, and it wasn't something that he pitched as a reason for me to join. It was one of those situations that he and his wife, who's also his chief marketing officer, were going to go on board. Instead, he had his wife stay home because she had some other work that she had to take care of, and well, he and I ended up going on board Icon of the Seas. So I guess you can say in that case, I ended up essentially sneaking on board the ship. I was not on board as media. I was not on board as press. I was not on board as an influencer. Royal Caribbean would never hire me. I am not Disney enough for Royal Caribbean. That is just the simple fact, and I understand it. And it's not an insult to any of the other influencers that are working with Royal Caribbean. I don't believe I'm an influencer. I'm more of a content creator. I'm not going to go to whoever's paying me money. I don't believe in that. Money is a factor. This is a business, but there is a way you have to go about it. Now, also do keep in mind when it comes to the situation, this was a shakedown cruise, but this particular cruise was not the naming ceremony in which you had like Lionel Messi and a lot of celebrities going there, but it was a travel agent more so cruise. So there weren't a lot of influencers on board, which gave me a good time to infiltrate and get as much knowledge and details and shake as many hands as possible. Once again, do keep in mind this is very last minute. Even after I had made my announcement saying that I wasn't going on Icon of the Seas, I even had a cruise booked in a solo cabin on board the NCL Breakaway over in New Orleans. My flight was booked, my cruise is booked, everything was set to go on the same day as the shakedown cruise on board Icon of the Seas. When I got my notice and confirmation a few days before that cruise on Icon of the Seas, I ended up canceling my flight, canceled my cruise, which unfortunately, like an idiot, I didn't put insurance in, and I ended up losing about $1,000 for that sailing that I am not going to get back. However, you could argue when it comes to Icon, this specific shakedown cruise that I was doing, it was 100% free. I paid no port fees and taxes. I didn't pay for drinks, and well, it was a good experience. So I think anybody given that option in that position to go on the cruise before it was open to the public and not have to pay a dime out of pocket and maybe taking a L or a loss rather on a cruise of $1,000, I'd still say that for me and my business and what I'm trying to give to all of you as far as content, it was definitely worth it. Moral of the story, I had no idea that I would be sailing on board Icon of the Seas before it was open to the public, let alone at all, until I met the founder and CEO of my new travel agent partner, Lux Rally Travel Agency, David Easton. He was able to pull some strings and kind of circumvent the system. I was not given an invite by Royal Caribbean. He had an itinerary and sailing set for he and his wife, and I replaced his wife, which I am grateful for because obviously I was able to get a lot of content on. I have videos coming up tomorrow. I do have more videos and a final review of my time on Icon of the Seas. But my point is, I didn't use Icon of the Seas to try to scam all of you and get you to just sail on over to my new sponsor. That way way we can all make money and get fat rich together. Whether people like it or not, I am becoming a travel agent, or I should say that I am a travel agent, as I booked my first cruise for a client yesterday and he was very satisfied. If you're watching this, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for working with me and understanding that I'm new on this back end world when it comes to booking cruises. But becoming a travel agent, I do believe overall is a great thing that I have done, because obviously I'm gaining a lot more knowledge on, once again, the back end of the cruise ship industry, booking cruises, seeing their actual numbers, seeing how they run all of their promotions and their marketing. There's so much that I can learn on that back end that is going to give me the knowledge and experience to then give all of you the content that I do here on this channel. There is obviously a lot of perks for me as not only a travel agent, but a cruise content creator with a pretty large channel. There's a lot of room to kind of run there. I'm also learning on other travel experiences that I can offer all of you, such as resorts and hotels and anything else that you guys will want under the sun. This company that I'm with, Luxury Travel, and by the way, yes, shameless plug here, you can check them out, link in the description box below. They are amazing. Just seeing what they have going on with their operations, meeting their team, and seeing how they are doing their best to give all of you the greatest and most unforgettable experience possible. I am glad I partnered up with them. I have no shame in saying so. They primarily do a lot of luxury bookings for people, but as you could imagine, in order to get into the luxury game, you have to be an absolute beast, a master in the economic game. And well, that's where I'm starting off, and little by little, I'm going to be working my way up, as well as bringing up a couple projects that is going to hopefully continue to grow the channel and something that all of you see as valuable. Anyway, I hope that this explanation comes off as clear and concise to all of you. I hope all of you understand. I do apologize if some of you out there felt some kind of way because maybe you didn't have the clarity in which hopefully I've given to you now. When it comes to the travel agency that I have partnered with, I am not trying to come off as salesy to any of you. I want to give all of you the best experience possible, and they are helping me learn so much. It's only been a week that I've been with them, and I have been learning the ins and outs of the travel industry that I would have never been able to open my eyes to had it not been for becoming a travel agent, joining that process, taking courses. It will be an exhaustive and strenuous process for me. I'm taking courses right now, and I gotta admit, they have me learning all facets and categories of the travel industry. But if I make it out of this alive, I should be a pro. Speaking of which, guys, while I am not fully trained on becoming a travel agent yet, like I said, I just made my first booking yesterday. If you want to be, well, let's say my guinea pig until I get certified in about a week or so, you can, of course, check out my link in the description box below. I will also pin it in the comment section. And if I cannot accommodate you, because as many of you know, I am busy, I have travel plans and I have the trainings right now. I'm basically back in school again. I have a great, amazing team that will assist you, and I promise you they will give you A-class service, and you will be very happy with what they are able to provide for you as far as your vacation option. Just check them out, Luxury Travel. I appreciate and love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I seriously mean that, and well, we're going to keep this thing moving. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see all of you later. Take it easy.